You talked a bit about redemption. Just mention, or I guess just walk us through the day here today at RedBud.
Yeah, today was a long day. I think 7 o'clock to 5 p.m. So it was a long one. It was brutal, and weather was actually really nice, so that helped a lot. But I had a good qualifying, P2 in qualifying, and I came into the first moto pretty confident. It didn't go my way. It was actually a pretty rough one for me, but ended up P4, Moto 1, came back, regrouped, got the body temperature down really well, got a lot of nutrients back in me, and came out in Moto 2. We're just going to focus on my technique, and ended up getting, I was riding second the whole moto, ended up getting lucky. Gibson's bike broke. What was it, last lap?
I think 2 laps ago or so.
2 laps ago? Didn't see him, so I honestly thought I still got second overall, but I could take a little luck compared to last year, so not the way I want to win, but I'll go back Florida, train a lot, and should come out swinging for Loretta's.
And you mentioned, I think, some bike changes on the podium, and you mentioned wanting to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Would you just, did you get pumped up in the first moto? Can you walk through, bike changes or anything, suspension? What was the bike changes for the second moto?
Yeah, we changed the forks and a few things to the shock, but it could have just been my riding too. I ride out in California, so these tracks are way different, but I just focused on my technique a little more, had a better flow going, so that helped a lot, but definitely need to work on some ruts.
And obviously last year, like we talked about, you had the tip over your lead in the whole first lap. Yeah. For the whole first moto, you were, it was almost like a perfect moto really until that tip over, and then the second moto gets canceled. So today, were you all right, I'm gonna have a second moto, really get redemption, just have a better second moto this time?
Yeah, honestly, the first moto was so bad, I was just going to improve on that, but to come out with a win, it's awesome.
Fauser here.
All glory to God.
And then I guess it's a completely different race, and again, there was weather a little bit and stuff last year, but can you compare the track to last year? Can you compare yourself to last year? Do you feel like you're even better than you were last year, even if you didn't have the greatest first moto? Can you still see improvement, even if the results aren't necessarily better every single race? Or
yeah, compared to last year, it rained quite a bit, but honestly, they watered it so much that the track was about the same. It was so deep in some spots, and compared to last year, I feel like I've gotten better. Outdoors has definitely been a struggle for me, but I'm getting better. We'll just see where I go from here.
Is there one thing you can pinpoint, I guess, looking to Loretta's, one thing you really need to work on?
One thing I need to work on going into Loretta's probably just getting a little comfier on the bike and just riding Florida tracks, riding deep tracks, ruts, just learning how to be patient, how to be good at balancing, and that should be it.
Yeah, then so with Loretta's, are you going to be, you said you're going to be in Florida training then to get some kind of East Coast dirt again?
Yeah, I'll be in Florida training until Loretta's and Ironman as well.
Where are you going to be training out in Florida?
I'll be training in Tallahassee, and
And then anything else you'd like to add about today?
Add about what?
Anything else you'd like to add about today?
Not really much to add about today. Got lucky, but I'll take it.
What are some of the things that
nothing much. Just gonna get home and regroup for next week of training.
Okay, last one, real quick. What did you learn from Swanee today as a rider coach?
I learned a lot from Swanee today with nutrients and just line choices too. He helped me a lot and just loosening up on the track, flowing, opening corners. It's definitely the most I've learned in a while. It's just a great experience, these combines, and excited to win.
Walk us through the Moto Combine here today.
Yeah, it was a good day. We were first riders on the track for qualifying one, really deep, a lot of outsides. RedBud seems to be a little sandy off the beginning, so a lot of outsides and stuff. But it was good. P7 qualifying, P7 in Moto 1. Not really where we wanted to be, but we really turned it around for the second moto and just dug deep. Got a P2 overall. Kind of lucky with some riders with bike problems, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, you look like significantly better, like better start, better, like you just look like you had a flow second moto. Was it just comfort, like kind of resetting, or did you make any bike changes between, or any, like, I guess, approach changes like on your lines or anything, or just what happened with second moto was just a lot better?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a better start, but honestly, it's just I've been struggling a little bit on outdoors and stuff because I just have been the past couple of years with fitness and stuff and trying to get to a better spot, and I just let it all hang out that time. Kind of was a little bit strategic with where I was at and what part of the moto we were in, and then towards the end I just hammered down because I knew the rider behind me was coming and stuff. But yeah, we just dug deep in that one, let it all hang out.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head who was catching you in the second moto. Was it
Jesson Turner?
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys, I feel like you could tell he was coming though. You heard him behind you and stuff.
I can hear his bike most of the time. Like at the beginning I could hear it, then I got out a little bit, and we've been training together for the past month too and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you mentioned that at Club MX. Like, what's that like, being able to, race with guys that are pretty fast, but then also go practice with them during the week, and just I'm sure you guys lift together and do like a lot of different things off the track together as well.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've only been there for a month, but it's been a really good experience. I mean, Club has one of the better facilities I've ever been to and stuff, and we get to ride with Max Folan and all their pro guys and Harry Coulis and stuff, and it's been really good to ride with those guys and get to just grind it out with them.
And I'm sure the track is a little bit different, I guess, compared to last year. We did the combine last year. We had the second moto canceled.
Right.
It's a whole another year, like all different conditions. But can you compare how you were like this year compared to last year? Do you feel better, even if the results in the first moto weren't great? Like, do you see improvement? I guess, how do you gauge like year to year, and do you look back on a year and say, hey, I was better here than I was last year? And what's that kind of like process like?
So even with the P7 in the first moto, like it was definitely improvement from last year. Last year was a little bit of a struggle, a little bit of a fade and stuff, but yeah, we definitely improved. And this year's track was a little bit, it was way better, but not much you could do about the rain and stuff pouring here. But yeah, it was really good. You never jumped the leap, did you? No, I don't think any of us did, but I tried it at the qualifier here about 2 months ago and did not make it. It was a really lucky case. It's like I cased it about as bad as I think you can without crashing.
I was gonna say, did you have it like in your back pocket of like, if I need to pass for a podium spot, like maybe, or is it just?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
So yeah, I blew my wheel out last time I hit it, and that's the only thing I could really think about. Didn't want to do that, so kind of just trying to pick my time up around the other parts of the track.
And then, who was your coach today, and what was one big takeaway that you had from them?
I had Ezra Lust this time, had him the past 2 times, and honestly, me and him work really good together, and he has a really good mentality. He's keeping me straight and stuff, and I have other people in my corner that are keeping my mentality straight, but I've had him for almost a year now, and I think we work really good together, and the biggest takeaway I'd say is his mentality, keeping mine straight.
And then I guess what's next is probably Loretta's, right? And no Canada races or anything this year, right?
We don't have any Canada races on the agenda this year. We did a lot of them last year, but yeah, we got Loretta's next, and I think the weekend after is the Ironman Combine, so kind of just go back to club and work on for those.
Do you have like one specific thing you can like focus on maybe for Loretta's this year, or like one specific thing you need to work on? I know you said outdoors has just kind of been tough, but is there one thing you can pinpoint to? I need to focus on this for the next month. I know a month is going to go by quicker than you think, but anything you can really focus on this last couple weeks of prep for Loretta's?
Yeah, mainly just starts in just having more grit and stuff, just working as hard as I can at the practice track, because if you just go out there and ride 4 or 5 times a week and not put in much effort, you're not going to get it to show at the race. So just try and ride as hard as I can every day and stuff, and work on that.
And then I guess after Loretta's, do you know any chance you race pro at all, or is it kind of just go from there or see? Or
yeah, we don't have it on the agenda. The weekend after Loretta's is Ironman and the Combine. I know like some guys like Gibson and Dudney might be racing the last few rounds and stuff because they're moving the age to 18 and stuff. But for me, I'm already 18, so it's not really that big of a deal. But we'll see. We'll see where we're at after Ironman and judge it for that.
Walk us through the RedBud Combine here today.
Turned out pretty good. P3 in qualifying, which I was pretty happy with that. Track was fresh, fast. It was fun. First moto, bad start, didn't ride great. Wasn't too happy with my performance. Went to the gate second moto really mad, and just kind of put all that into getting a good start in the second one, which I was able to do. Got a pretty good start. Was able to work my way up to third, and was kind of pressuring Fauser there at the end. Just kind of got unlucky, wasn't able to get him, but still, all in all, pretty crazy. I was able to get on the podium. I was not expecting that, but it ended up working out, and couldn't be more stoked with getting a podium finish. You know?
I feel like this is your second kind of surprise podium of the year, like Daytona. Like, do you feel like you're kind of underrated? And then, I mean, you put in a good ride again, so it's like,
I mean, kind of like no one was expecting it. You know, underdog kind of. That's how I kind of look at it. But I mean, I know I could do it riding with boys at club every week, knowing that I'm not far off their pace, and like some days even quicker than them. So I know I could do it. I just got to put myself in the right position.
Yeah, you mentioned ride with the club guys, Alex Fedortsov. You trained with him at all? Like, he was here last year, qualified fast in the first session. Yeah. Did you kind of lead on him at all? Like, because this is your first time racing here, right?
Yes. Exactly what he did. He said, go out dead last, and the first lap just hammer every single berm you see, and that's exactly what I did. Every berm that I saw, I hit it, and it turned out good. It was a blast the first session, actually. I had a super good time.
Yeah, and then you mentioned training at club and catching Luke Fauser, and I was talking to him a minute ago. He said you guys are training during the week and stuff. So what's it like being able to train with the guys and then go race with them and then kind of train with them, and that way you can kind of gauge your progress a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like felt just like a moto at club, because we always start right beside each other, and I normally end up catching him, and we battle it out during the week. So it honestly just felt just like that when I was out there. The track got super rough and deep, just kind of like how club is. It's kind of this East Coast kind of dirt, you know what I'm saying? And it felt like we were just back at club shredding, you know? Like it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, and so your coach, Gareth Swanepoel, what did you have like a really big takeaway from him, or what did you learn the most from him today?
Yeah, I actually did learn quite a few things. Like they do stuff over at Star like differently than we do, and just kind of like what he does for their program. And yeah, he was a really good coach for us today. Like, he had good line choices, good input. I mean, in the second moto, he's like, all right, let's actually get a good start this time, you know? So yeah, he was a good coach for us today.
Yeah, so second moto, was there anything like bike changes wise, or is it literally just you were just mad, or just?
No, we actually came back. We made quite a few bike changes, because the way that these ruts are with the amateurs, like, it forms really weird. So came back, and I wasn't really able to ride the track like how I wanted to in the first moto. So Ty kind of was able to see that, and I had good feedback with them, and we were able to make some good changes that worked out really good out there. Like, I was able to ride the track the way I wanted to in the first one that I wasn't really able to.
How old are you again? I can't remember.
I'm 17.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like, you mentioned like underrated rides. I feel like you're kind of one of those guys that just like sneaky speed. Like, that's how Alex was last year.
Yeah.
Maybe the year before too. It's like you guys are just like steady grinding, and then you have a good ride, and everybody's like, man, who's that guy? Like.
Yeah. I mean, same way like that Daytona when I was able to get the podium. No one was expecting that. I wasn't even supposed to be there. Like, I didn't even get accepted to that race actually. So just kind of get in the shadow grinding. You know?
And I guess the Reddit is coming up. It's a month away now, but it's going to go quick. Anything you can point to, like last minute focus on, starts or technique, or anything you can really focus on?
Definitely.
I know it's going to come up quick, but
dirt starts.
Dirt starts.
Because I mean, all Supercross season, we were training on great starts, and like, I mean, we were able to do some dirt starts to get ready for the regionals, but still, like, it's a big difference. Like, even like the way you set up the bike for a dirt start is different. Like, I had them pretty dialed in, and hopping back on the grate, we had to make a few bike changes to really get it dialed in the way I wanted to. So that's the main thing, just the way that the starts are. And we've got a kind of Loretta's replica track at club now, which is really similar to it, and it's been really good for us.
It's kind of a fun one, I guess, because there's so many tracks at club. Do you have like a favorite track, or which track do you enjoy riding the most?
Honestly, like, the days that he just goes on the Supercross pad and tears up a turn track. Those are like my favorite when we have sick turn tracks. The dirt on the Supercross pad is like prime, and it ruts up so good. Like, those are my favorite days whenever we go out on the turn track and just work technical kind of stuff.
All right, Kade Johnson, we're gonna have you walk us through RedBud here in a second, but I gotta tell you, you had I think 17 passes officially in the first moto. I'm sure you know you passed a lot of guys, but did you realize there was that many?
Yeah, I would say so. It was a terrible start. Had to come through. I was just slowly but surely picking my way off, managing my endurance. I've been doing a lot of bike riding, a lot of bike races recently, so I've been kind of getting really fit, luckily. So helped out a lot. Was just slowly but surely picking one off. I don't think I had screaming speed, but I had a lot of grit. So it was a lot of passes, but yeah.
Was it just better lines than everybody else, or like how do you? Because I feel like sometimes these tracks are hard to pass on, even if you can be faster than somebody else, but do you just have better lines, or was this guy going right and you're going left, or just how'd you make so many passes? Like you're flying.
I think I managed the race really well. So like in moments where everyone was going super fast, I wasn't trying to rush passes or get loose, and that's how you get tired. So I was just kind of sitting back there, kind of like a cat or something, ready to pounce if they made a mistake or something. Because I was kind of just thinking if they make a mistake, they're tired, they're gonna be mentally weaker, and so they're gonna let me by a little bit easier. So I was kind of just timing my passes really good. I was keeping the lines super open, kind of trying to take maybe some slower lines, but easier lines. I was just kind of trying to ride a little bit like Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, the top guys in our 450 class right now. So speed smooth.
And then I guess who was your coach, and what was the big takeaway that you had from this for this event?
My coach was Brock Lever. The main takeaway I would say was looking up through the corners because the ruts are so long. So looking up and being able to spot where you want to go. Also, not necessarily rushing the corners, especially on the long motos, not rushing the corners, because on the exit it'll pay dividends. If you watch the top riders in our sport, once again, Jet, Hunter, coming to example them again, but that's what they do. They're not necessarily the fastest going in, but going out when it really matters, the sand and the deep stuff, RedBud, super important. So that's kind of what the takeaway I got from him. He's an awesome coach, and all these combine coaches were awesome. It's a combine that's a super fun experience.
Yeah, and so you mentioned that you've done a couple of these now. Like, can you see your growth throughout the couple of events you've done so far?
Yeah.
I think you've done like a handful or so, right?
Yeah. I did the 2 last year. The first one I was on a stock bike. I got like 9th at RedBud. Second one I was also on a stock bike, and then I ended up like 10th or whatever. But then this next year I've kind of been growing a lot. At Hangtown I went 9-4. First moto went down twice. Second moto had a better ride. Got a little bit tired though at the end, but here I just came out every single session. I was constantly up there. So I just felt really good on the bike. I felt like my technique was a lot better. And going to every one of these events, whether it's the coaching side or the riding side, you learn so much more, and then you just become more experienced, so just keeping the ball rolling, and hopefully we can keep that momentum in the Ironman Loretta's.
Yeah, and I feel like we've watched you grow up, like physically, but also literally, like you're so much taller now. Can you tell a difference, like riding last year here versus like this year? Like, can you make, like, I'm sure you know, like the Supercross Futures win. Like, can you tell a big step from here, where you were here last year in this position?
Yeah, definitely. Endurance-wise, everything, but the long legs, it was. I'm still not even fully grown into them because I didn't expect. No one expected my family. I thought I was going to be like a little bit undersized, and all of a sudden I shot up. So just learning how to use my legs, training off the bike for it. I'm about halfway to I think what my full capabilities are with my legs, because it's an amazing tool if you use it right. But when you don't, you kind of just look sluggish. So learning how to use my legs to my advantage, so I don't have to use my arms, use my legs in the loops, all that good stuff. So it's a huge advantage. I just have to slowly learn how to use them.
How tall are you?
6'1", but I'm an actual 6'1". Like if I'm maybe 6'1 and a half. Busan 6'2". I don't know, but I look a lot taller than I probably am, just because I'm skinny and I ride tall. So I'd say that.
Yeah, and I feel like you said, or we talked about the Supercross Futures win. Like, I feel like you're kind of like slowly under the radar and like making your way up. You feel like you've made progress and you're kind of turning heads, and kind of people are realizing you now a little bit, or what's that?
Yeah,
what's that kind of been like as you've grown?
Definitely. So last year, the whole NSA Yamaha split, and I was looking for rides, and I just felt like I was extremely undervalued. Obviously, my results weren't necessarily top tier, but I was like, I know what I have, you know what I'm saying? And so I was kind of just always under the radar. Supercross, I got hurt in the first round, came back, and then I went Foxborough. So I for a long time I was flying under the radar. That's what my inner circle, people around me, the Castlemans, the family has helped me to show the world that kind of what my talents are. And I think it's just gonna keep growing and keep getting better for Ironman and Loretta's. Because I'm not necessarily a flashy rider. I'm just consistently up there. I'm consistently gonna be digging at the end of the motos, but I'm not gonna go out there and run, 5 seconds faster than everyone qualifying. So it's just learning those things and trying to get. I know I turned some heads in this race.
And then obviously the Loretta's is a month away, but it's kind of going to go fast. Is there one thing you can pinpoint, like, hey, I need to work on this over the kind of this last minute shuffle to get ready for the Loretta's?
Definitely. So Loretta's is actually an amateur track, so all the little bikes ride it, so it's going to form completely differently. So I'm not sure how that's going to end up. It's definitely going to throw a wrench to the plans. But for now, I think I'm just going to we're going to go back to the dog pound, focus on my upper body and making sure I have a really good square position, kind of how the Lawrence's ride. I get to ride with them out there, so I get to see that. And then if you're able to ride like that, I don't think many people are beating you. So that's the plan, to try to learn kind of how a good square upper body. So that's the main goal.
So how long have you been at the dog pound for?
A week.
Okay.
Or like a week and a half. I had 2 days the first week, and then the second week I had 1 day, so like 3 or 4 days-ish. So
because you've been in Texas until then, right?
I'm in Texas, yeah. And Texas is awesome. I
think you're training by yourself, right?
I'm training by myself, or with like 3 or 4 other people. So it's super important to go to the dog pound. I go to the dog pound and I instantly get quicker. It's awesome to see them riding and see the progress that because for me, I always ride better when I'm with people. That's why I race so much better. It's like if there's someone in front of me and he lets off a second later than I let off, I'm gonna do that. But in practice, I don't know that, so I think I'm at my limit, and I'm really not. Because I've always been somewhat of a conservative rider, riding on myself. So it's been super important for me to get to that dog pound, ride with fast people, and show the world what I have. Because I'm a privateer trained by myself, so I think I have a lot of opportunities to grow a little bit.
And you don't have to get too into the weeds to it, but how does that situation come about? Like, do you reach out to them and you're like, hey, do they reach out to you? Kind of what's that? I guess, how does that even start, the communication between you and the Lawrences really to get there?
Well, huge shout out to the Castlemans. They saw me at Foxborough. They said, that kid has potential. He's flying under the radar. We need to get him on a factory team. So they helped me out. They sponsored me. And they're really good friends with Dan, the guy that helps run the Lawrence compound.
Yeah, Dan Truman, right?
Yep, Dan Truman. And they said, this kid needs to be out there. He has a lot of potential. So we got out there. We're getting into things. Everyone's been extremely nice. It's just been a blessing. You can't do it without the people around you. So I'm extremely grateful for that.
Yeah, and then I guess one last one to finish it off. Like, your racing's done for the weekend. I guess you're just gonna hang out and watch. I guess you do a sight lap tomorrow, but man, how excited are you for just like 4th of July weekend, just being able to hang out and like now your important part's done, you can kind of just watch and like you mentioned, watch from the Lawrences and these pro guys that are really freaking good.
It's awesome. What's the coolest thing that, I don't know if it goes on the radar or not, but being able to ride a track and then watching all these people race it. And it's like, oh, that's the line I took yesterday. Oh, that's not the line I took. Just learning these things and the way they ride and all that. It's super fun. I'm gonna go out to dinner tonight. It's July 4th. I'm gonna have some fun with my family. Get to bed early so I can watch tomorrow. But I'm super appreciative. I'm happy that we got to ride on July 4th so I can relax tonight. But yep.
And then to finish it off, how old are you? And then do you have any idea of like a rough timeline of when you're going to turn pro, or is that still just kind of from now, like I guess months from now, or do you even know yet?
So I'm 17 years old. The plan is to probably, this is I don't know if this is a hard plan, but do futures through next year, and then after that I go pro. But hopefully by then I'm on a factory team or some sort of team with someone in my ear telling me, hey, you need to do this, hey, you need to do that. So that's kind of the plan that my family formulated, just so I can get a little more exposure for a factory team. But I'm open to anything at this point. I'm just, yeah.
So rough timeline to be like Supercross Futures and then full pro outdoors?
Full pro outdoors 2026, most likely,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be the plan.
Yeah.
So I'm 18.
Yeah. So with that in mind, is there any nerves, or I guess what's it like if to say this would be your last Loretta's go? Is that something you think about? I know, riders when they win and they have good results, everybody always looks forward. But do you like reflect on stuff because you're a pretty intellectual person? Do you think about like, man, might be my last time at Loretta's? Does that even cross your mind, or?
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it kind of sucks. But going to all these combines, it kind of makes me so the amateur races are kind of less important. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't even really view like Loretta's as a kid. It's like it's end all be all, and like the nerves get so high at Loretta's because it's like you perform, you have 3 motos to perform, and then you've forgotten about the rest of the year, or you remember for the rest of the year just based off those 3 motos. And with the combines and all that, I honestly enjoy the combines more. So not necessarily, I won't. I mean, I'll miss the atmosphere of Loretta's, but not really necessarily racing Loretta's. But so I'm excited to go pro. I like the pro lifestyle. I enjoy training for pro. I enjoy wanting to be a pro. So I'm excited to take this step up.
And then anything else you'd like to talk about we didn't cover?
No, I just appreciate being on. Hopefully we keep the ball rolling into Ironman. Maybe my bike won't blow up on the second moto, but we're going to have some fun and get back to training.
Walk us through the Moto Combine here as a coach, and I guess one big takeaway that you were telling guys, what were you trying to instill in these guys as their combine experience?
Yeah, I mean, a few things, right? Obviously, normally I'm here as just somebody who talks to them about training and stuff like that. This year we expanded, we invited a few more people, and Jim Perry and I discussed me filling in as a coach. I was good, I think. Super fun to work with kids of different levels too, right? They're not all, I'm used to working with just my Star Yamaha boys, and it's quite a high level where I had guys at AB guys at super high level, and then I had some guys really doing it just to gain experience, learn a lot, and I think it was fun just to talk them through lines, talk them through kind of race strategies a little bit, get them fired up on the start line, and just kind of see how different kids work, right? It's not always just about winning, it's also about gaining the experience and enjoying it today. And I feel like my group, each one of them came afterwards and thanked me, and we're super pumped about it. So I think I had a really nice, fun atmosphere and a good time with my guys.
And it's like you mentioned, you've done this a couple times now, more of like the fitness coach, but now the riding coach. How do you see the program evolve since you first got involved a couple years ago, and just since it began a couple years ago as well?
I think it's evolved well. I mean, obviously, it's expanded that, like, the wait list just to do it is huge, I mean, they're really trying to expand it and not add an extra coach this weekend. And I think there's so many guys that get turned down that want to do it. So it's got a lot of exposure, and as you can see, like, Cole Davies went through it, Hayden Deegan went through it, Hymas went through it, Drew Adams went through it. So it's working. There's a lot of good guys that have been through it, and Beaumere, Beaumere is where he first came on my radar, was actually through the combines. So I think it's definitely working as far as helping build the future of the sport, right? We need to keep these guys that turn pro at a high level, and I think it's really helping the sport.
And you mentioned it's more than just guys that are winning. Is there anybody specific you can point out to that maybe people don't realize that they did as good as they did, or maybe somebody that somebody that had a performance that stands out to you that maybe is overlooked today?
I think one of my guys that stood out to me the second moto was Hart. He, first moto didn't really have a good moto. He rebounded and rode much better in the second moto, and got 5th in that second moto, and I think that was really good. Obviously, I had still Carson Wood, my kid that I trained daily, still racing. I wasn't his coach today. but his improvement from hang time to this weekend was huge. Obviously Gordon, his improvement. Gibson, unfortunately, his bike broke in the second motor, but I feel like all these kids are getting better every one we do, and then that's just the biggest standout for me. Not necessarily anybody specific, but just the improvement from the first one to the second one on a lot of the riders.
Yeah, I think Hart's, I just looked in the results, it said he had 11 passes in the second moto, so he was like the hard charger, I guess. So
yeah, so he did good. Yeah.
Did he just have good lines, like good fitness, like anything that stood out to you, or he just was riding well?
I think he just rode a lot better in the second moto than he did the first. I think he let himself down in the first moto. When I spoke to him on the sideline for the second race, he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better this race." So he's super motivated, and obviously it was one of my guys that's looking after. So it stood out to me that he did a lot better in the second race.
And then obviously for you to get the Coaches Cup today, just talk a bit about that experience. You held up the trophy and everything like that. What's that like?
It was pretty fun actually. Pretty fun to do. Obviously, it's just the Coaches Cup is obviously just a bit of rivalry between the coaches. At the end of the day, we're here to also help the other kids and other groups too. But it's just a little rivalry between the coaches for fun, and I just took it back to my the racetrack over there just to boast to some of the mechanics over there for a bit of banter, a bit of fun. But it's been a good day.
And just one quick extra one. I know you didn't have him as your, I guess, rider today, but Carson Wood, you've been with him with Star for a couple months now. What's his evolution been like? Like, he was really good in qualifying today. He rode really good in the first moto. Unfortunately, had that crash, but you've been able to hang with him for the last couple of months at the Go Farm, right? So I'm sure you've seen a lot of progress since he got on a big bike, right?
Yeah. I mean, Carson Wood's incredible. I mean, you think about it, he was on Super Mini last year. He's actually still a really small kid. Mm-hmm. He's only 15, but he's a little 15. And I'm really impressed with his progress, right? Like, he works really hard. If you look at Combine last week in Hangtown, he ran up front, but he was not quite as good as he was today. Today he ran up front a lot longer. He made that mistake and went down. Second moto, he actually went down on the second turn, got up dead last and came back to 6th. So I'm really impressed with his progress, right? And what's cool for me is obviously I get to see how he does at these kind of races and go back and work with him and keep improving. So as long as we can improve, it's a really good gate job before the Redders, and then finish out the Combine season good at Ironman. And if he keeps improving like this, it's going to really help him, to go pro in the very near future.